Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector, and we are about 7 days into the month of March. And so far this month, I've only really gotten in about 4 or 5 games. And the thing about it is that technically I've really only picked up one game so far this month because both Metal Storm and Felix the Cat and Super Mario All Stars, these were online GameStop orders that were placed, I want to say, the second to last week of February. So it took a while for them to get here, but when they finally did, they didn't get here until March. So I'm including them in the March pickups because this is the month that I got them. And then a similar story with Jet Cave on the Switch. This was a order that I put into Strictly Limited a long time ago, I guess. And so this game finally came in the mail, and I finally have it now. But the only real game that I picked up in March was Oddworld. And this was basically a free game. I walked into a GameStop and they had Oddworld sitting in the free bin, I guess, of games that they were not taking in for trade. And so March is shaping up to be one of the more dry months in terms of pickups for me that I've had in a while. It's kind of weird, but I haven't felt things slow down in terms of retro game pickups or even just video game pickups. I haven't had them slow down this much for me in a really long time. And it's not because I'm not looking, to be quite honest with you. The other day, I wound up taking a drive to one of my older spots that I used to go to. It's a thrift store in the area, and when I got there, they did have a large stack of games, but a lot of what they had there were pretty much just Wii games. Now they did have a good amount of Just Dance games, which was I thought was pretty exciting. But a lot of them were either damaged or just not really in good condition for me to pick them up. And they did have one like Fallout limited edition game, but I was shocked. They wanted like $15 for this 360 Fallout game. And the vibe that I picked up from that thrift store is that anything that even appears to have any kind of value, they're going to mark it up. There was a point at that thrift store where pretty much all media was priced the same. So a video game was a video game was a video game. It didn't matter what the title was or what, console it was for. Most video games were priced at $3.99, $4.99, and it just didn't matter. And now that retro store is they're individually pricing any and everything that seems to have any type of value. And that's of course just the items that actually make it to the sales floor. I'm sure there are employees that are snapping up stuff left and right. And I'm sure that there's some backdooring going on for some of their more like faithful customers. I'm sure there might be customers who might be, greasing their pockets on the side, giving them a little bit of side money to be able to get first dibs on some of these games. And then even beyond that, like there are some people who shop at these retro stores, or not the retro stores, but at these thrift stores. And I literally see them camping out at these stores all day, like waiting for them to roll out any new inventory. And I guess if that's your full-time job, if that's like your full-time gig, you don't have any other source of income, you resell video games or whatever to pay your bills, I understand that level of dedication. Like I said, if it is if that's your full-time job, but if that's not your full time job and you have other responsibilities, there's no way that you're going to be able to dedicate that amount of time to basically basket hanging at not just thrift stores, but GameStops, anywhere where you might think someone might walk in with, retro games or video games of value. Just that amount of time just isn't worth it. You know what I mean? And so I visited that thrift store. They didn't really have anything for me there, and it's obvious that these places are getting picked over. I mean, by, like I said, the folks who have the time to hang out there all day. I'm just not one of those people. Um, But that was my experience at the thrift store. The Goodwills near me haven't been good for a long time now, so it's almost like a waste of time even going there. And the last bastion for me, which was GameStop, even GameStop, over the past couple weeks has been dry. They had one really big push of like a ton of retro stuff. And that was the push that where I capitalized and took advantage of these NES games. They had even more NES games and more Super Nintendo games and Genesis games that I'm kind of wishing I would have taken advantage of at the time. But I was being conservative on that day, and I figured I had gone in enough just picking up these three, so I didn't really want to kind of get greedy and try to snap up everything. I said, I'm gonna leave some of these other games. And sure enough, those games didn't last long either. By the end of like that hour, all those games were sold out from their website, and it's getting even dry on for GameStop. So that has me wondering now. Okay, well, if the scalpers and resellers are crushing my thrift stores and pawn shops, and if GameStop is destroyed and they no longer have anything for me online, and then it's not like how it was even last summer. Like last summer, I there were four Game Stops that I could visit within like 35 minutes. That's how close they were. And in the last year, two of those Game Stops have closed down already. And the other one that's there is just, I mean, it's getting pillaged. I mean, games don't stand a chance there. I actually went there one of the last times that I was there. Someone had walked in, just straight up asking for retro games. And I had not seen that at that particular GameStop before ever. And this was also being asked by a person who I've never even seen in the area before. So it tells me that people are, because the stores are closing, there's just less opportunities at stores. There's also less opportunities online, and there's less opportunities at the thrift stores and stuff. And so what it's been driving me to do is go to Facebook Marketplace. And me personally, this is Facebook Marketplace is going to vary area to area, right? Like you're someone who's doing Facebook Marketplace in Des Moines, Iowa is going to have a completely different experience from someone doing Facebook Marketplace in like Miami, Florida, or you know, South Central Los Angeles. Like, right? Like, Facebook Marketplace is not equal in all areas. And so for me, like, I have an issue with Facebook Marketplace. I just have a hard time trusting it. People play a lot of games on there. And most importantly, if in my area, you're not seeing any like crazy Facebook Marketplace deals. You know what I mean? Like, what they're asking for the games that I see on Facebook Marketplace, it's pretty much GameStop prices plus the headache of all the hoops you have to jump through to like complete a Facebook Market deal in terms of meeting up with people. There's less security, there's less certainty. If they sell you a lemon and you don't have the tools with you to make sure it's real or that it works, the hassle of having to track that person down, it's just a lot less safe. It's a lot less secure for someone like me, and it's just not worth the headache. And so even Facebook Marketplace isn't a viable option. So it'll be a bummer if this is what the rest of the year looks like for me, but I'd rather not buy video games than jump through a ton of hoops, put myself in an unsafe condition, or just spend endless hours driving around or waiting around for in hopes that someone, you know, is aiming to trade in some games. So for me, this is like a really bad sign for game hunting in terms of the channels that I typically use to game hunt. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully things change. Hopefully we see a different type of ebb and flow in the market. I'll definitely keep you guys up to date. But so far, March has definitely gotten off to a slow start. Like I said, only one pickup so far, and we're already 7 days into the month. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you in the loop. But for now, things are looking dry. Let me know what it looks like near you, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.